Every adventuring party needs someone who brings a little bit of everything to the table. Some sly humor, a dash of charm, adorable awkwardness, impressive acrobatics, and a healthy dose of dark vibes. Vax is a wonderful mix of these things, rounding out the diverse cast of Vox Machina. Most of the Vox Machina builds have followed the official character sheets as closely as possible, using mods when needed. For this particular build, we are going to stray a little further from the official build to take advantage of a mod that we believe will create a better experience. However, if you would like to stick to the official build as closely as possible, please use the Throwing with Dex mod instead of the A Better Rogue Thief mod, and use the Assassin subclass. The ability scores, skill proficiencies, skill expertise, and feats, other than an additional ASI, can remain the same. The mods needed for this build are Critical Role, Vestiges of Divergence, A Better Rogue, Thief, Mantis's Face Preset Collection 1, ImpUI, Veil and Venom Rogue Equipment, and Fades Equipment Distribution. Getting started with the basics, Vax is a half-elf, and the subrace is Wood Half-Elf. His class is Rogue. The background is Urchin, giving skill proficiency in sleight of hand and stealth. For the ability scores, there's no way to get these matching exactly, so we're going to, of course, prioritize Dex, and then any uneven scores here are going to be evened out later in the build. So we will start with a strength of 12, a dex of 17 using the +2, a con of 10, an intelligence of 13 using the +1, a wisdom of 12, and a charisma of 12. The intelligence score there probably doesn't make sense, but we're just trying to keep it as close to the actual build as possible. Now, for the skill proficiencies and expertise, we know that we get sleight of hand and stealth from the background that was chosen. The additional ones are going to be acrobatics, intimidation, investigation, and perception. Now, note in the official build that Vax has 5 proficiencies, but we are limited to 4 choices. So we cut out persuasion because based on his performance in the show, there's really only one person on whom his persuasion really seems to work.
Oh, listen to you. Don't stop. I can't take it.
As for expertise, we are going to put that under acrobatics and perception. That will do it for the basics. Let's move on to appearance. For the appearance, we want body type 2. For the body type, we want type 2. Keep identity as male. Keep voice as voice 1. We're going to use our first mod here, which is for the head. We are going to choose the one that says Aaron. Scroll down to skin color. We're going to choose neutral tone 3. Skip on down to eyes and choose brown 3. Down to makeup, we're going to go with makeup 1, but we're going to lighten that up quite a bit. We're going to take it down to 35% intensity, just for a little bit of enhancement around the eyes. Then down to hair, we are going to go with the hairstyle called Fair Forester. The hair color is going to be brown 5. And then for the highlights, check off all highlight colors, choose taupe, and turn the intensity up all the way. And that will do it for appearance. On to the build section. As soon as you get to level 2, you are going to notice a change. And this is from one of the mods called A Better Rogue-Thief. At level 2, in addition to unlocking your cunning actions, you also need to choose a fighting style. So obviously for Vax's build, the only thing that really makes sense here is to weapon fighting. So that's what we're going to take. Now at level 3, this is where we're kind of diverging a bit from the official build, but it is still going to be very similar. Instead of going with the traditional subclass of Assassin, we're going to go with Thief, because this is the subclass that the mod builds off of. So you're gonna get your thiefy subclass features of fast hands and second story work, but you're getting 2 additional things here. This is the primary reason why we need to go with Thief. You're going to get a subclass feature of Thrower Specialist. When you throw something, your dex modifier is added to the attack rolls, and Cunning Action Throw. so throwing as a bonus action. At level 4, just as usual, you're going to choose your first feat. We're going to start with ability score improvements so that we can even out the dex and the intelligence scores. At level 5, you'll notice that you get the uncanny dodge, but you also get some subclass features here, and these are the same subclass features that you would have gotten had you just gone with the assassin subclass. So assassinate initiative, assassinate ambush, and assassin's alacrity. So the subclass that has been created with thief also pulls from different areas. At level 6, you get an extra feat slot here, as well as an additional action called Supreme Sneak. Blend into the environment so completely that you actually become invisible. Lucky is on the official build sheet, as are most of the feats that we're going to be using. At level 7, you unlock Evasion, but you also unlock 2 new subclass features, Improved Critical Hit and Remarkable Athlete Jump. These were taken from the Fighter's Champion subclass. At level 8, time for another feat. This time we are going to take the Dual Wielder feat. Now, granted, the Dual Wielder feat does not do a whole lot for this build, but it is part of the official build, so we are going to keep it, especially since we have so many feat slots available to us. At level 9, you unlock the class feat of Reliable Talent. You also get Infiltration Expertise as your action, which also comes from the Assassin subclass. At level 10, time for another feat. For this one, we are going to do ASI again, so that we can bring up the dex to 20. At level 11, you unlock a new subclass feature, and this is specific to the mod. You do not get this otherwise. Isolated Prey. This creature has advantage on attack rolls against targets that do not have allies within 5 meters. And then finally, at level 12, you get yet another feat. So this is a very feat-heavy build. At this point, it's really dealer's choice. You've already taken multiple feats from the official build, which is Lucky, Dual Wielder, and at least 1 ASI. Now I should note that the official choice here would be Sharpshooter. However, Sharpshooter doesn't actually work for this build because it only impacts ranged attacks, not throwing attacks. So there's really no point in taking that. So this one is dealer's choice, but I personally am going to go for Savage Attacker. That will do it for the build. Let's move on to the bonus section. Vax's primary armor will be the Deathwalker's Ward that you get from the Vestiges of Divergence mod, which you get access to almost immediately. But if you'd like to hold off on wearing that until later, just use progressively better variations of leather armor until you're ready to switch. For Vax's boots, the Boots of Haste that he uses are also included in the Vestiges of Divergence mod, so make sure to grab those too. For Vax's cloak, there is actually a Cloak of Displacement in BG3, which you can get from Danthalon's Dancing Axe in Act 3. For Vax's weapons, there are no good stand-ins for the Flame-Tongue Dagger. However, you can use the Sword of Life Stealing, which is pretty much the same as the Dagger of Life Stealing that Vax uses. It's just a short sword in BG3 for some reason, and it's available at the Last Light Inn in Act 2. And for your second weapon, you can use the Short Sword of Venom from the Veil and Venom Rogue Equipment mod, which can act as a stand-in for the Dagger of Venom, and it is found in the House of Healing Graveyard in Act 2. Just don't forget to switch one of these weapons to Whisper from the Vestiges of Divergence mod when you're ready. That's it for the Vax build. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, check out the rest of our Vox Machina builds. We've done the whole group.